Well, hey there, everyone. Welcome to another fun-filled Campfire Tales, where things will get as cozy and weird as normal. Uh, Introducing my fellow host. First, we have Jeff. How you doing, Jeff?
Great.
Good. That's everything going all right for you?
Everything's going fantastic.
Oh, yeah, it's wonderful.
How about you?
Oh, just living the dream. Also joining us is Dave. How you doing, Dave?
Well, hello there. How are you doing?
Oh, doing all right. I know what you both are thinking. That's weird. He didn't ask us a question.
I was actually thinking that because usually you ask a question in the beginning.
Well, that's because I wanted to ask you the question together.
Okay.
Would you two say that growing up as children that you were good kids or bad kids?
That's pretty black and white. I mean, good and bad. I'd say that
I feel like just by you starting your answer off that way, you were a fucking terrible kid.
I don't think that's for me to say. I'm not sure.
I think you said everything you needed to say.
My problem was I had a pretty smart mouth when I never really got in any serious trouble, but
Yeah.
just regular hillbilly hijinks.
Hillbilly hijinks as a kid. All right.
Well, I'm from a rural area,
Yeah.
much like yourself, so you understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah, like you're told to go out and feed the cow, so you thought, I wonder if I could ride a cow.
Well, mine wasn't quite that bad.
Oh, okay.
But it wasn't like we were in a major city, so there wasn't a whole lot to do. So you kind of had to, make do with what you had.
Fair enough. What about you, Dave?
I would say I would say that I'm great at being a kid.
Yeah.
Once again, that feels like saying I was a bad kid with extra steps.
Yeah. If the standard is the Mole King's childhood, I was friggin' fantastic.
I was practically a saint. They nominated me every year, but they're like, "Well, you're not dead yet, so you can't be a saint." I was like, "Oh, it's technicalities."
That's just a roundabout way of saying they wished you were dead. You understand that, right?
Wow, yeah, that's
wow,
true. That's true.
Wow.
He's not far off.
Wow. You know what? This is what this episode's gonna be tonight, huh? That's what it's gonna be.
It's been a while since we've had a boys' night episode.
That's true.
I'm kind of excited.
Eli, if you drink this paint thinner, you can become a saint.
Oh, is that how that works?
We guarantee.
Yeah, we guarantee it.
Is it gonna taste bad?
No, it's great.
Oh,
just wash it down with just mix it into your fruit punch.
Into this automotive coolant, which tastes just like coolant.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Great.
Oh, fantastic. All right, awesome. Now let me ask you this though. Okay, so all right, so we're all bad kids, sounds like. Do you think you would have been good kids if you knew that at any minute your mother or father, your parents, whoever, could invoke the curse of a vengeful deity who would punish you for the remainder of your life, more than likely until the end of your life, because it would cause the end? Would that change how you behave growing up as a child?
I was raised by Christians, so I was always.
Yeah, it's basically the same thing. So my parents were Baptists, so it's like
yeah. Well, how about
we weren't allowed to celebrate Halloween because it was the devil's holiday. Like, all right.
Yeah, I feel a pain. My growing up, my mother thought had this weird thing with Pat Robinson, and I remember when Harry Potter first came out, I read the first book and I loved it. Second book came out, he was like, "That's for the devil." So we burned them. I didn't. My parents did. And then the third one came out. Yeah. And it was like, oh, well, it's kind of the devil, but it's not that bad. Book fair came around, got all three again. Fourth one came, it's teaching you how to worship Satan. But they're all fucking gone again.
That seems like a weird hill to die on.
It got to the point where
there's much worse things out there than Harry Potter.
Because
of all the ones to burn, the Chamber of Secrets. Come on.
Yeah.
Well, it got to the point
what was the fourth one, the Half-Blood Prince, right?
No, that was the Goblet of Fire was the fourth one.
Well, that one.
It got to the point where the librarian,
Voldemort's back.
It was a small community that the librarian knew that I was being raised by batshit nuts. That basically, when the library got it, she always reserved it for me to have first, because she's like,
so
at
you
least
can burn it?
Well, no, because she's like, at least you know how to read in that bloodline, so I want to keep
pushing that. You know how to read.
Yeah, at least you know how to read. So Anyways, reason I bring it up, last week we watched the Furies, a movie that from the trailer didn't look like it had anything to do with anything, and then we watched it, and it was some haphazard. It had some haphazard plot line with the actual legend of the Furies, and I always enjoyed the Legend of Furies, and then I was like, oh, we'll do the real Furies. I'm changing my opinion of that movie. I have righteous indentation because that movie fucked up some of the coolest fucking legend lore there is. So I hope you boys are ready for a fucking education night into some badassery.
Sounds like we've got a rant on deck here.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming. So tonight we're going to talk about the Greek Furies. Neither one of you know much about the Greek or not the Greek and the Roman Furies. They're basically the same.
Yeah, I was going to say they're
thing.
They know a little bit about them.
Mm-hmm.
They were like what was it? Uranus, his blood, right? It was
well, the Uranus was their name. That was their actual name.
No, you're the god, Uranus, whatever it is. Well, like his blood got spilled, and that's how they got created.
Right. Well, that's one of the legends, but they actually
there's a couple different.
Yeah,
that was the
but Greek they're actually
one, right? they predated Zeus.
Well, kind of, like so. It's weird because the legends myth because like people try to downplay their power, but like they were just stupidly powerful.
Yeah, they were like Titan level, weren't they?
They actually, we may get into it. They may have been stronger than the Titans.
Wow.
Was Medusa one of them, or was she just a follower?
Well, it depends what lore line you follow.
Okay.
She could have been, or she was like their cousin.
Okay. I'm on the right path.
Yeah, you're on the right path if you believe the one tale. So the Greek the Furies, like I said, they're one of the things that was like pretty much the same between the Roman and Greek mythology. What made them different was they were three individuals that mainly made up the Furies. Whereas if you look at other cultures and religions at the time, they would have a god of vengeance. But what separated the Greek and Roman pantheons was that you had your god of vengeance who paled heavily in comparison to these three fucking titans of terror who people feared. Like it was like you're going to find out that the Furies were basically a mix of the Cenobites, Voldemort, and Hulk Hogan. That's the argument I'm going to make tonight. If those three had a love child, you would have the Furies.
That's a solid hybrid.
Yeah. So their actual name, their actual name was I'm going to butcher the shit out of this, was the Irinides. But people refused to say that name because they believed it was cursed. So they came up with all these nicknames for them, one of them being the Furies. They were considered deities of vengeance and justice, and they were so powerful that they were more powerful than the gods. They believe at the minimum, they are the same level of Titans, but they actually think they may have been stronger than the Titans because these fuckers are persistent. And it's really petty as fuck. Basically, the main crux of these three, which they refer to as sisters, was that they took an oath of vengeance themselves to take vengeance on any person who swore false oaths. And what we're going to find out tonight is what they consider was a false oath. Pretty fucking broad.
So everybody, pretty much.
Yep. Nobody was safe from their vengeance. They also, what made them different was if you look at the pantheon between even like the Titans, that a lot of like the Titans and the gods in both mythologies would be limited somewhat to where they could go, what they had access to, places they could be, forms they could take. Not these fuckers. They the literal line, if you look at some of the lore, is that they could walk heaven, earth, and hell anytime they pleased. And the reason being is that there were people who claimed that they were more angelic than they were these deities of vengeance. And then there were people who claimed to dealt with him, said they were more demons than they were gods or deities. So right there, you have the OG Cenobites. Angels to some, demons to others. But yeah, so now here's where we're going to get to where it gets a little weird. There's different versions of how they were created or where they came from. But then like that's kind of where the differences end. And then it's kind of straight line from there to their badassery. The first one, the first kind of basis of them was it was believed that the Titan Kronos, when he was basically taking the mantle from his father Uranus, or as they said where I grew up, your anus. When they were fighting Titan, as he was fighting Uranus, who was basically the sky Titan, the way he decided to beat him was to castrate him in the sky there. And as his genitalia fell to the ground, which created Earth, and
nothing worse than Sky Nuts.
Yeah, Sky Nuts. That should be a band name.
Oh my God, no!
Oh man, we're Sky Nuts. But as his genitalia fell from the sky, blood and semen rained down, and the three sisters actually crawled out of the pools of blood and semen. They crawled out, and they crawled out extremely pissed off because one, even though Kronos may have been justified in what he was doing, he turned his back on his father, which they considered their top two most sacred oath-breaking bullshittery. So they hated Kronos from that. As soon as they crawled out of that spermy blood, they're like, Kronos fucking done. You gotta get some justice.
He's effed around. It's time for him to find out.
He's effed around. So that's one story how they started. Another story was that Nyx, who was like one of the primordial ones, kind of like a Titan who like made her way in the Pantheon, didn't get locked up. The god of night. When she saw the other tales, like when she saw what happened to her father, Kronos, she like pulled them out of the darkness and be like, you have to bring balance to the force, like they were some Jedis. And so then, but like they were like cooler than Jedis and not so fucking
that's
lame.
A pretty bold statement.
I said it. I ain't afraid to say it. Some say that actually like the god of night, Nyx, didn't just pull them out of the darkness, that she actually fell in love with Hades, and her and Hades had a bunch of kids. And the one of them being the Furies. She also had the Gorgons, and various other creatures. But the way you know that they were all born between Hades and Nyx was they all had snake hair. Because the one form the Furies take is this like old crone covered in Bigfoot hair with bat wings and snake hair. So to your point, that story is really funny. Like if you follow that legend, because basically like once they were born, it was said Hades was like, holy fuck, what have we done? This is a problem.
It's like when somebody like brings their baby over and it's ugly and you're like, nice baby. Like, well, you can't be like, your baby's, I mean, you could. You're like,
well, it wasn't even
your baby has snakes for hair.
Yeah, like he like.
Well, it wasn't even an ugly thing with Hades. They said when he saw it born, he went, "Oh fuck, she gave birth to a nuke, and no one here knows how to turn it off." And so we're gonna get to later on that he basically gave some stuff, be like, "Hey, if I give you this stuff, which you like, will you not kill us all?
Just leave us alone,
because we've done a lot of shitty things, and you seem to not particularly care for that." And then the last two legends is one. Some say that actually the god of vengeance, Nemesis, pulled them out of her vengeance.
Where's her vengeance?
You know where. But for some reason, they like took most of her vengeance with them because they were more vengeful than she was.
Wow.
And then the last one is that people actually believe that the reason they're more powerful than gods and like they kind of do their own thing is that they're actually ponye, or basically spirits of vengeance. And so that way, like, you can't stop vengeance. Vengeance is a constant revenge.
Like a primal force.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
And so like they're just always going to be there no matter what you do.
So even the gods are afraid of ghosts.
Yeah, pretty much. There was no Ghostbusters at this time. So I mean, I like them all. I do like the thought of genitalia falling from the sky.
Yeah, that one feels.
That's a funny image, you know. Basically,
there's a lot of that in like mythology, like how stuff started. It's just like, well, a bunch of penises rain down, and you know what I mean.
I mean, like, if you think about it,
we can't explain it. Bunch of penises. That's what.
Well, I also, because I have the humor of a 12-year-old, and in one story, I get to say the word Uranus and penis,
and
so
penis.
Like. You know what I mean?
You got it.
Is it just me? But this story does align pretty cleanly with the whole Jotun story. Like these seem like Jotuns.
Right. Yeah.
Sort of the bastard childs of the deities kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, only they're more powerful than the Jotuns. Because what you're going to find out is like, and like what's weird is like no one, like with the other gods, like the Pantheon and even like the Titans, like their kind of realm or like their domain that they controlled kind of made sense. The fucking Furies, they just did whatever the fuck they wanted to piss them off enough, and people were like, "We don't know how."
Yeah, they were kind of just like an independent force. Yeah. There was no real like
so much so like
they didn't have any like guidance or like real. There's like
they were free agents.
Yeah, basically like.
Well, they didn't actually even need guidance or anything because they were pretty much because basically what their whole well, we'll get that. Basically, the three main ones is you have the three sisters. You have Alecto, which is endless anger, Megara, jealous rage, and Tisiphone, which I fucked her name up. Please don't kill me. Vengeful destruction.
I heard they could only come around like once a month or though. I heard that was
right. That right there is why they will get you. None of us can help you. None of us can help you.
All right.
So basically, where they live, if they live in the realm of Erebus, which is basically the realm of the underworld that is pure darkness, and basically the actual hell part of the underworld where people are tortured and made to pay back for their crimes and sin. One of the, if you follow the legend that like Hades is their father, when they were born and he realized like, holy shit, we gave birth to some nukes. He basically was like, hey, if I give you this and just let you punish people all the time, could you like just be cool about all this?
Leave daddy alone.
Yeah, could you be really cool? Like, I'm just gonna hang out over here. I won't bother you guys. Just be real cool and it'll all be all right. Which they gladly took it and still fucked with people because they didn't give a shit.
Exactly. Sure. We'll do that.
So one of their jobs or like kind of what the task that they took upon themselves was they heard complaints of mortals basically who would come to them and in regards of vengeance be like, hey, vengeance needs to fall on this person because they did me wrong. And they would either say, well, hey, that's not quite a vengeful crime, or they would agree. They would determine what the appropriate punishment torture was, and then torture them until they died, and then until the end of time, because vengeance never ends
forever.
Their easy one of their easy vengeances was they each had a brass tack covered whip, and they would stand in a circle around somebody, just whip the shit out. That was just one of their. That was just the basic package. That's the basic package. It was also said that if they decided, like, well, we're not going to kill you quite yet, they would hound you relentlessly until the end of your life, and then after you died, they just keep hounding you. So, like, once you got a fury on you,
And that was mercy.
Like that was
instead of killing you, we're just going to ruin your life. And your afterlife.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think I read that they did that to what's his name, Agamemnon.
Yeah,
right. Like they're like, because his wife like was plotting to kill him or something anyway, and like on his way to Troy, the Furies were like they just fucked with him until he died.
Yeah, they like mocked him and kept scaring him.
Yeah.
Hey, but at least he did.
I didn't see that in the Brad Pitt movie.
Yeah, all I'm saying is at least he didn't stand around him and beat him over and over again with a brass tack.
Yeah, that's true. That'd be all right.
Yep. They also they were also in charge of people who would create or commit offenses and perjury against the gods. They were in charge of punishing them. There are two then basically any other form of like punishment in terms of like, hey, you broke an oath, either to your country, your city, people, they all that purview. And then they had their two golden crimes, which they held above all else and received the worst punishments of any other crime committed. And I know what you're thinking. Well, Eli, you already said if they committed crimes against the gods, they did not consider that the worst. That's just a Monday. The two worst is this: if a child
patricide, right? So
broke an oath to their parents, basically misbehaving, because the pact of a child is to obey their parents. If you don't obey them, you broke your oath. So, Jeff, I'm assuming what, day 3?
For you?
Yeah. Like,
I wouldn't have lasted too long.
Yeah, you came out of the womb. You're like, hey. And so then one of the things they did was they kind of let it up to, if the child took to a certain point, they'd become involved. But unless it got to a bad enough point where they would interject themselves, they would leave it up to the parents, who there was a curse that the parent could put on their child so that the Furies would come and punish them. And so like at the time it was common, like if kids were being bad, the parents would be like, listen, you little shit, I'm gonna get the Furies on you. So do you guys think you would listen better? Yeah, pretty much. Do you guys think you would listen better if like that was a threat?
I doubt it.
Every culture around the planet has.
Yeah, there's always something. Yeah,
I promise you, something. I was always promised I'd be haunted or damned or something.
All right. The other one they really didn't like, because they were so mad that Titan or Kronos killed Uranus. The other one that was their golden, like, hey, worst of the worst line was if you killed a family member. If you killed your own family member, they did not appreciate that. So like they held the child parent relationship thing and the killing your family member above if you offended the gods.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this all still sounds like social engineering to me.
Oh, fair enough. Let's see here. They also, like I said, they were in charge of the Dungeons of the Damned in Hades, where they oversaw punishment of all the cursed souls. There were various other curses that people could put on other people if they broke their oath or did something against them. So, like, for example, let's just say, throwing this out here, that somebody comes up with a really cool story about the Bunny Man, and two people hijack it and turn it into something about George Washington. That person could theoretically
that person would get the Furies on him because he made up a story about George Washington. That's what I would say.
You're not turning this on me again. You're not doing it.
Yep.
Luckily, the only Furies this person has access to, their biggest threat is denting your car with their hooves.
Listen, Donkey Lady
I know.
may be a Fury.
That's the level of your Fury.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying. Donkey Lady may be a Fury.
I hope your car insurance is paid up.
She is considered a spirit of vengeance. So technically, Donkey Lady could be a Fury.
She's like the lamest Fury. Like
they also made themselves a charge of, at the time, if you guaranteed an oath to somebody, you had to swear the oath on the Furies. Because if you broke your oath, you're basically like, I accept my fate, which they didn't really give a shit if you accepted it or not. They're still gonna come for you. They also did not want humans gaining too much knowledge about how to see in the future, because they did not want them to try to avoid their fates they had to keep their oaths on their own. So they would prevent them from getting things that would grant them that knowledge, and they would also protect the fates, so people couldn't just go to them all the time and ask for like, hey, how does this work?
I mean, they're encroaching on like Santa Claus level power, you know.
Well, it gets worse. At one point, they basically became control of all of Hades, like dealing punishments, who got punished, who didn't. And then, if you read some of the legends, because they at the time, right, in the Enlightenment, the Greeks were like realizing, like, if you look at the stars, there's other cosmos, and they assumed that vengeance, wherever there was life, there was vengeance and revenge. Mm-hmm. They're like, oh, well, then the Furies, they oversee all cosmic justice, regardless of who the gods are.
So they invented vengeance, it sounds like.
Yeah, they're like,
they were kicking ass and taking names across the cosmos. It didn't matter who the gods were. They couldn't be stopped. There was no stopping them. They just went where they went and took their revenge.
So what happened? Batmaning around the universe before Batman was even around. Huh?
Pretty much. Yeah, that's really good. Because my thing was, like I said earlier, I thought they were a mix of, the Cenobites. My second thing, the reason I picked Hulk Hogan, because just like Hulk Hogan, in the 80s, his name was fucking everywhere. He always won, and everybody hated him. So, like, they're Hulk Hogan.
I loved Hulk Hogan, so I don't know.
Let me rephrase that. Not the fans, the people who worked with him all hated him.
Oh, okay.
Because he was an asshole.
Because he had to win.
Yeah, well, he always had to win. Which you're going to find out, that's the Furies. They always win. They also, they had three main forms that they would take when they were dealing their stuff. If they were helping people, they'd take the form of beautiful women. If they were doing some fact finding or like basically like send a message before shit got real, they would show up as old crones in cloaks. Once shit got real and they were ready to whoop some ass, they would become beings that had the head of a dog, snake hair, coal black body with bat wings, and bloodshot eyes, and they would just constantly swing their brass-studded whips.
And when they were drunk and depressed, they just had a donkey head.
Yeah, how dare you? How dare you? Spirit of vengeance.
She's like back in the Fury house. She's like, "Come on, guys, let me get with you." They're like, "You're lame. Just stay here."
I want to come.
Beat on that shield over there with your hooves.
That's really mean and ignorant. Because if you're a spirit of vengeance, you're a spirit of vengeance. The reason people believe that the gods couldn't stop them, because at the time Athena, right, was one of the more powerful gods. So her city was Athens, and there was these men who were going around killing people and being disruptive. The Furies were like, well, hey, we're about to go fuck some shit up. And Athena was like, oh, well, wait, hold on. Like, I have to handle this as Athens. Let me hold on. So she went to Athens and she basically was like, she came up with trials, like a court. She's like, these people need to present their case. And then the town will decide whether or not they're guilty, because she wanted people to learn reason and not jump to judgment. She's like, now, obviously they'll find them guilty. We'll punish them. Call it a day.
It worked out great.
It did not work out because the town just argued and they were hung. So those three men got away.
Mm.
The Furies were like, well, fuck it. And they show up in Athens and they're like, we're going to fucking dole out some punishment. Well, Athena kept hiding them. So then they started punishing large groups of people by spreading madness, plague, disease, infertility, hunger, insomnia, taking away people's reasons, which I was like, what does that mean? Basically, just taking their fucking souls from their body.
Yeah.
Until like, the men got turned over. When that didn't work, They just did it to the whole city. And then when that didn't work, they're like, well, fuck it. We'll do the whole country. Well, Athena came down, was like, whoa, 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 whoa. At first, she was like, I know where Zeus's lightning bolts are. And apparently, like, as a threat, like, hey, because they believe Zeus's lightning could kill anything.
Yeah.
Apparently, these three badasses did not give a fuck. And they're like,
so? And?
Yeah, they're like, those bros need punished. And so then Athena was like, listen, you're 100% right. But, like, I was trying to do this trial reason. So how about this? How about I have them set up a temple in Athens? People could worship you, because generally speaking, people didn't worship the Furies. And so they went, okay. And everybody's like, well, that's all. They just want worshipers. Awesome. So they cleared stuff up. Not very long after that church, they set up this little church to them. Somehow a cult was formed, and the people that worshiped them decided to take out their vengeance, and they got those men anyways. So that's when they started realizing, like, oh, well, they weren't scared of the gods. They did what they want anyways. Because then people started going to, after, like, in that time frame before these people started dying, other people was like, oh, we heard, like, they stopped them in Athens. They would go to, like, gods and demigods and oracles and be like, hey, I think the sisters are after me. How do I stop them? And they'd all say, oh, well, you just have to, like, you know, make this offering and then do this task, and they'll leave you alone. And basically, to be crueler, the Furies would be like, okay. And they would act like they weren't around for a while. Yeah. And then just out of nowhere, they would come and just start smacking fucking people down. They did not give a fuck. Not a fuck. Then people, like, there was a time frame until the city basically, like, went in and, like, we got to shut this cult down. There's a time frame when, like, people in Athens were afraid to do anything wrong, because that cult would just drag people off the streets and beat them to death. And then, like, in another town nearby, another shrine popped up to them, and they were like, oh my God, what if these cults spread everywhere? And so, like, politicians were all of a sudden were real nervous, and they kind of squashed it. But yeah, so they did that. Now here, so just like Hulk Hogan, they had to win. Even at the end of the pay-per-view, when it makes you think like, oh, they didn't win, you find out they did. And the reason I said that they were also their third parent would be Lord Voldemort is because they literally cursed their own fucking name. So that way, if anybody would speak about them, they would assume it was in terms because either they broke an oath, they were afraid, or they wanted to turn someone in. So they would just show up. So then people had to start coming up with nicknames for him. Some of their nicknames were the well-meaning ones. The August ones, reason that is in August, the sun becomes red like blood, and blood flows wherever they go. The harmless ones, the ominous ones, and then the Furies became a name. Call them the Furies because wherever they went, Fury would follow. And like I said, so like they did that. No one stopped
for the Furies.
The ominous ones.
Okay.
Were you about to make fun of the way I talk?
I was. The ominous.
So like that's where people started believing like, oh well, the gods can't stop them. The Titans couldn't stop them because we think they are Titans. Maybe we don't know. They go all over the cosmos and do stuff. Their fucking name's cursed. They're so cold-hearted they'll let mothers curse their own children for being bad to whoop the shit out of them. It was crazy, but not as crazy as some people believed. The people that believed that they were a ponye or a spirit was that there's not just three. There's like an army of them, because basically anybody who dies in a way that would require vengeance, they come back as a spirit of vengeance. So new spirit of vengeances are made every day. And so like those people believe that the reason they were strong than gods was you couldn't stop people from dying and needing revenge. And also was that there were so many of them because they even believed that during wars, if you were killed in war, you just automatically wanted revenge because you were forced to go to war. So they believe that there was just armies of these spirit of vengeances that if the gods ever interfered in their vengeance, they would just finally seek revenge on the gods. Because if we're being honest, in both Greek and Roman mythology, there were no good gods. They were all
kind of dicks. Shit. Yeah. The gods are fickle.
Yeah. Which brings to my point, Donkey Lady, spirit of vengeance. She was a spirit of vengeance. That means she's a fury.
She's like Aldi's brand Fury.
No, she's not. You know what? You really feel comfortable making these cracks about her, knowing that she is now a Fury?
I do. It's fine. It's fine.
And this cult that followed the Furies, I'm assuming that they all made an oath somewhere along the way that each of them that's born is named Karen, right?
I would like to think they were cooler than their fate is to becoming Karens.
No, they're all Karens.
Yeah. That is really sad. If that is the fate, like the legacy of the Furies are like,
that's pretty much where Donkey Lady lands. I know.
Wait. Yeah. Are you? Wait, hold on. Whoa. Are you saying Donkey Lady is like Karen?
Just runs up to your car, kicks it, and is like, I need to speak to your manager.
She was literally lit on fire and thrown into a creek. And you're saying it was her
probably
fault?
Because she was a Karen.
Yeah.
A weird hobo came and murdered her family.
And do we know
that's your story?
I mean, that's
wow.
You know.
You know what scares me more and more about doing the show with you two? Is
how
every
right
week.
We are?
No, not at all. Every week, how you justify and protect the villains more than the victims, and like
you're protecting the villain.
Yes,
the Furies aren't a villain; they're getting revenge on people.
They've tormented people for eternity for the pettiest crap.
You don't know
they
are something petty.
The spirit
driving across her bridge.
No, it's because she got lit on fire, and thrown off that bridge. That's why Donkey Lady protects that bridge. But the Furies themselves,
that doesn't make any sense. She's just a bad person.
Maybe she's trying to prevent people from crossing that bridge so they don't get thrown off the bridge
by kicking their car.
Yeah, like, hey, don't go this way. Click, 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 click. Exactly how it happens.
It's more like, why are you filming here? Get off my bridge.
You son of a bitch. You son of a bitch. I can't believe you guys are.
And then the Furies pull their camera out and say, I can do that too.
Oh my God. The Furies are not like that at all. They are like it's the most
They've
badass
got the bobcats. They've got the slanted bangs.
It's such a badass story that they weren't afraid of Athena, who, if you look at the Pantheon, Zeus, like Athena was like his favorite.
She was the manager.
She was like his favorite child. And you son of a bitch, I saw what you did there. And like sometimes he would like get involved if people were being mean to Athena. And then like when the Furies came, it was like, we're fucking up your shit. And like almost all agrees, Zeus was nowhere to be seen because he was like, not get involved in that.
Well, I don't want to deal with that.
Let me ask you one question, Eli. Is there any throughout the history of these beings, is there ever any recorded reports of them wearing face masks? No, there isn't, is there?
Why would they? They have dog faces. Exactly. They don't. They have dog heads. They don't make masks for dogs.
Yeah. Do they follow the laws? You know, even when there's ordinances to protect all of the people. Did they wear their masks? No, they didn't.
I can't sit there and say they follow the laws because they basically told Athena to shove her like droplet brass. Well, that's like even too like the story of Circe's. If you look at the legend of Circe, like basically the Furies were like going to kill her husband, and so she like did all these rituals and all these prayers and all this stuff, and like then like they're like, oh, the Furies not around. Everybody's like, oh, you're good. And then like years went by, and then she suffered tremendously. He died tremendously, and then everybody was like, oh, the Furies always win. They always win. There's no losing against Fury. Like,
Nothing you
they'll
can do about
always
it.
get you. Yeah, like, oh, these rituals all this time have been bullshit. They're fucking with us.
I'm still curious how the donkey lady fits into this whole thing.
Because she's a spirit of vengeance. And if you believe the one tale that the Furies are actually like basically an army of spirit of vengeances, since Donkey Lady in the legend is classified as a spirit of vengeance, she would be a Fury.
She's closer to a furry than a Fury.
You know what? I do not appreciate you both misaligning the good name.
You mean maligning?
That's what I'm going to say. Maligning the good name of Donkey Lady.
I think you need to go live with Donkey Lady. That's what I think. Like,
well, and you know what? She would enjoy my company. We'd have a great time.
She would thank you. That's for sure.
You son of a bitch. You know what?
Why are you so obsessed with Donkey Lady? I'm not sure.
Because it is one of the most ridiculous legends I'd ever heard in my life. And the fact that there's a ghost of a woman who turned into a human donkey hybrid, and her whole, like, I mean, yeah, they claim she's killed some people, but really her whole thing is she leaves little hoof print dents to your car. It's just the most absurd thing I ever heard, and I love it. I just love it.
It aligns closely with Eli's personal spirit of vengeance
goals.
No, I think I'd be more like a Fury. Just the level of pettiness the Furies have. Like, I wonder if I'm not a Fury, because my pettiness level is that high. You can ask Jeff. Jeff and I both play Magic the Gathering, and we'll be playing.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes somebody will hit me for like takes 2 health to get a card, but I become so upset that they did that I will literally tank whatever game just to kill them. That is my goal. Mm-hmm. And then once I get revenge,
it's real fun playing with Eli.
I was going to say that makes it very easy to beat.
So once I get my revenge, then I'm good to go. We can move on.
Well, what's your win-loss record there, Eli?
I quit counting because I played so many games.
It's probably like 5 to.
I've won more than 5 games. I've won more than 5 games. You know what? Is that how we want to be when we go play tomorrow night?
Well, we'll see what happens. Huh?
Vengeance.
I know.
The pettiness is already revving.
It's already started. Yeah, it expands far beyond the game. Like, you know,
I'm petty about everything. That's why I think I'm a Fury.
Yeah, you might be.
And so
you're just like Donkey Lady.
Yeah.
A spirit of vengeance. So then after like doing this, I became really petty, and I'm even more angry at the movie The Furies now, because it could have been so cool if they would have actually like made them Furies instead of like being a shit.
Was that on Netflix? Is that where that movie was from?
Shudder
exclusive.
Should be in the toilet exclusive.
Shit. Exclusive.
Boom, roasted.
See what I did there? You know what? I bet you the Fury's favorite food is Golden Crow. Because you can't go into Golden Crow without getting angry.
Yeah, that would put you in a foul mood.
That's for sure. Yeah.
You know, because like there's always kids running around doing dumb shit. So I get angry in Golden Crow. And then I'm angrily driving home trying to make the bathroom before I shit myself. So
exactly.
I'm just saying, like, I think I'm a Fury. I think I'm one of the Furies.
Okay.
I think I am.
I think people could listen to the last year and a half of our podcast, and that's a pretty strong position you've taken on it. I mean,
I'm like the king of petty, right?
Even when you don't care about a movie, you come in strong with it.
I do. And which how badass that, because the Furies, right? The strongest thing we've covered by far, the strongest, like, you know, God, Titan, primordial being, spirit, whatever that we've covered. The Furies are by far the strongest.
No, Bigfoot.
Bigfoot is not stronger than a Fury.
Bigfoot can beat the Furies. I mean,
he's 90 feet tall.
Documented.
They're literally basically Titans that can't be stopped.
Except by Bigfoot.
How would Bigfoot... Okay, first off, I feel like we should design a game.
If you don't know, we're not telling you. I don't understand like how you haven't got that yet.
How many videos in the last year of Furies have there been? And how many videos of Bigfoot have there been?
Well, according to you, if the Furies are Karens, there's billions.
That's the spirit of the Fury.
Oh, that's just their spirit. Oh, okay.
That's those cult members.
Yeah. Well, see, but you see what I mean? Like they go where they want. They don't hide in the woods like Bigfoot.
He's not hiding.
He's not hiding.
Then what is he doing in the woods?
He's just being in his house.
He's enjoying not being around petty people.
That's like if we're not on camera here and you're in your house, I can't see you. So what?
I mean, if you look through a window, you could.
Yeah.
That's how they find Bigfoot. They go to where his house is, and they're like, "Oh, there's Bigfoot." But I mean, I'm not sure what you're implying here. Do you know how spatial awareness works?
You know what I don't understand. What I don't understand is
what's that?
I bring you this entity. I literally describe as a Cenobite, a Hulk Hogan, and Voldemort. And you're gonna come to me and say
they can't be Cenobites. They only have 2 legs.
I don't think you know what the word Cenobite means. That's better than describing it as a cinnamon roll, so I'll give you that.
That's true. Although that would be more delicious. So we're not downplaying the Furies. I mean, yeah, they're powerful. We're just saying Bigfoot's better. He's tougher.
Without
that's all
question.
I'm saying. There's I don't know why you're getting so.
Let me ask you. Let me ask you.
Maybe
this.
you're compensating for something.
Let me ask this, Jeff and Dave. Both of you. Ask this, right? Let's say one night you both decide to go camping. Okay. What would scare you more? If in the middle of the
Bigfoot.
night, can I finish? In the middle of the night, you're like sitting around a fire.
Is anybody else there?
You and Dave, just you and Dave.
Okay.
You guys, I'm presuming, coloring in your coloring book for bed.
We've taken our fabulous mushrooms for the evening.
Trying to stay within the lines. And what's going to scare you more is if you look and stay in the tree line, it's just a tall, furry gorilla man, or
that's your description of Bigfoot.
Hold on. Or you look in the tree line and you see 3
Karens,
weird black body, dog head, snake haired, bat wing creatures just flailing a big whip around. You're telling me you'd be more afraid of Bigfoot?
I feel like you've left out some details in your description of Bigfoot. I mean, he's 111 feet tall. So, I mean, that right there is enough to just scare me.
Have you ever baboon butt that you didn't even mention?
I would not trust you, Jeff, to build an IKEA cabinet. It's the way you describe measurements.
I mean, it's Bigfoot. There's no...
Yeah.
Bigfoot don't carry around no whips. He got snake hair.
Why would? Well, first off, why would you be scared of Bigfoot? Because Bigfoot protects people.
Exactly.
Because he's more powerful than the Furies.
I don't know if you heard, but the reports recently in South Carolina and Colorado, he's like throwing rocks
let me
at
ask
people.
Let me ask you something. Have you been attacked by Furies lately?
No, because I am a Fury.
Thank you, Bigfoot. There you go.
But Bigfoot's literally attacking people in Colorado and South Carolina right now.
No, there's Furies around him, and he's throwing rocks at the Furies.
The people
he's only throwing rocks at petty people who have taken to the spirit of vengeance garbage.
Wow,
that's who he's throwing rocks at.
Wow,
the spirit of vengeance cultists.
Because part of the agreement that George Bunnyman Washington made between the Bigfoots and the Predators that we've already covered,
if you remember,
was that Bigfoot would be the counterbalance to the societal embracing of vengeance and pettiness and revenge.
Do you know what's interesting about you bringing up the Predator?
What's that?
Because we're bringing up Bigfoot, who's in South Carolina and citing South Carolina, Colorado.
Well, I mean, he has forest walk, so he can. There's a tree. So.
They're finally sending reporter stuff are going down that village in Peru to talk about those aliens they're being attacked by. I've been talking about every week. They were asking people to describe them, like the reporters, and they started showing them pictures like movie aliens to say well, they them look like this, whatever. Do you know what everybody said those aliens look like?
The Predator.
The Predator.
Because it is the Predator.
But he doesn't have a jetpack.
Who doesn't have a jetpack?
Bigfoot? Predator? No, the Predator.
Okay.
Wait, are you trying to claim Bigfoot's got a jetpack?
Well, what are you talking about? I mean, of course he does, but he doesn't use it. Why would he need a jetpack?
Because in Peru,
he can reach the top shelf being 386 feet tall. Yeah. He doesn't need a jetpack.
And you've got a Predator who traveled here from other planets with laser technology, optical stealth
Yeah, you mean
technology.
he doesn't?
You know for a fact that they can't produce jetpacks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a little, you know.
I just find that interesting.
And you got I find it interesting.
You are the spirit of the donkey lady.
You're siding with the old Karens here rather than.
Okay, first off, the Karens are nothing like Furies. All right.
In what way are they nothing like them? Describe again in a couple of sentences what the Furies do.
Yeah, we'll see if we'll make that decision. Go ahead and if somebody give us the elevators pitch for the Furies.
Okay. The Furies are three basically Titans, we'll say.
You don't have to put a number or
the Furies
just describe their
attitude, their general personality,
who take it very personal and punish those who break their oath, such as murdering their family members, taking advantage of people.
In what
things
way
like that?
Is that not a Karen?
Because Karens get mad like if the peanut butter price goes up 2 cents.
Because they broke their oath.
Mm-hmm. Their oath was their price. This peanut butter is $1.99.
Because the Furies are very wide in that definition of an oath, I can't argue with you there.
See? Mm-hmm.
I can't argue.
The AI art for this episode has come into clear picture.
I hate it because they're so cool, and you're gonna make them look so lame.
They're gonna have the best haircuts.
The Civil War picture and put Bigfoot on one side and the Furies on the other.
I was like reading this. I was like, this is the most badass thing in the world. I'm like, I want to get a Furies tattoo now. Like, I think that'd be cool. Like the old pictures of Furies.
I'll sketch one up for you, Eli.
Nope, I don't want you drawing anything with the Furies because you're gonna be disrespectful. You're gonna be disrespectful.
Well, I guess you're missing the point. Like, we're not detracting from the Furies. We're just saying Bigfoot's better.
They drive Cadillac SUVs. They've got really nice coach purses.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't believe you're saying
that's part of that. That was their disguise. You said,
I did no. I said they look beautiful. I said they took the form of beautiful women.
Well, I mean, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, but
old crones. Or or the dog faced or the dog headed, black bodied, bat wing, snake hair, bloodshot eyes, whip flinging creature from nightmares.
Exactly. I mean,
that's when the manager dismisses them and tells them to never come back on their property.
They say, like,
that's the final transformation. That's the
I am the manager.
The true form.
I don't like that. I don't like this. I don't like it at all. I don't want to see a picture of a snake hair and haircut. I don't want to see it.
A little fairy bob. It's already happened. It's in here already.
Listen, they're so cool. Why are you doing
a really tight, really tall turtleneck, leather blazer, suede blazer? Excuse me.
There's the black skin.
It's very clear.
The black turtleneck.
Yeah.
Man, you know what? I'll never. The day that I bring something and you're like, "Wow, that's amazing," and don't ruin it, I'll be crazy.
I don't know how we ruined it. I mean, we just embraced what
Eli. You ruined it by associating them with the donkey lady. You ruined it. This is on you. This is on nobody else. This is on nobody else but you, Eli. You compared them and categorized them.
No, I said. The donkey lady,
lamest thing we've ever talked about on the number one absolute lamest thing we've ever talked about on here.
Donkey lady is not the lamest thing. How dare you? Donkey lady is a cool.
No, she's not.
Story.
There's nothing cool about her. There's nothing cool.
She's half human, half donkey ghost.
Eli,
how can you be half?
We have tried, and I think Jeff will back me up. We have tried for over a year to come on to the Campfire Tales and bring some color commentary to these cool stories that you bring and align with you and talk with you and try and have a good time. And every time you get offended and start assaulting us. And I think at this point, I've just had enough and I need to speak to the manager.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I see what you're doing there. Can I, if I may, and tonight, when
you want to record me, Eli? I'm going to record you.
When was the moment that I insulted you tonight? When was that? When that line occurred? I just want to know, was it because I assumed you were bad kids and were right?
Yes. Yep.
Just like a bad kid. That's what a bad kid would do.
Well, yeah.
You're like those kids when you're in elementary school and you're like, just by looking at the kid, you know they eat glue and they get mad and they wipe glue in your shirt as they're eating it. And you're like, prove my point.
I think my point was when you not so subtly suggested that Bigfoot is lame. And that's on the record. Now you've got to live with that now.
No, I didn't
You've
say.
You've got to live with the fact that you said on your podcast that Bigfoot is lame.
You're misconstruing my words. I said Bigfoot compared to the Furies is lame.
Okay,
Bigfoot by himself. Bigfoot by himself is not lame. It's cool. He's a giant monkey man. That's cool. But if I'm
giant monkey man,
if I'm having Bigfoot, if I'm putting Bigfoot right, and like say we create our own Mortal Kombat game. Okay. Where it's the various characters that we've discussed, they fight each other, and I'm just saying
a Royal Rumble, like a Royal Rumble,
right? Okay. And I'm just saying, if we sit down, we're picking our characters, right? And I pick a Fury, and you pick Bigfoot. Obviously, you're gonna be one of the first ones thrown out.
No, I'm just saying that if Barbara Bush and John Muir were in a room, it's just good to know that you would defend Barbara Bush.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you've landed on this. It's John Muir's out there walking in Yosemite, looking at the glory of Half Dome and talking about the majesty of the magical wilderness around us. And you're over there with Barbara going, look at this moron over here. I see. It's just good to know that that's where you land on this stuff.
You know what I think? I think
you want to talk to my manager?
I want to talk to your manager. First off, I'm going to write a very strongly worded letter to your wife. And thirdly, I will be making a TikTok video about this later. That's what I think. That's what I think.
And you have 1,000 followers, right? You've got to tell me the people that you have influence over too, because that's a big part of the carrot.
Well, so I've never posted on my TikTok. I am more of a watcher, not so much as a poster. I'm going to post in this instance.
But I've inspired you to action.
You've inspired me. So all 4 of my followers will know exactly what you've done. Wait, hold on. I can't remember if it's 4 or 6. Let me look here. Let me look and see how many of my followers I have. Actually, I have 24 followers.
Wow.
I'm so screwed.
Let me see if they're real people. 1, 2. Oh, you know what? That one's not real. I have 23 followers.
Whoopsie, there's a bot that snuck in there.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. That one's not real either. I have 22 followers.
You have how many billions? Because the Chinese government's.
I have 22 followers. Dave, 22. Oh wait, someone else added me. Who's that? Don't think they're real, so I'm not going to accept it. But I have 22 followers, so 22 people are going to know how you are.
I am donezo.
You are. You should be really concerned.
I am.
That's all I'm saying. You should be really concerned.
Well, why don't you stick the donkey lady on him? Oh, because she can't leave her dumb bridge. So.
No. My truck already has dents in it. I don't even know.
Donkey lady's in control of Texas. Dave's not in Texas, so
no, just the bridge. She doesn't go anywhere else.
She just became exponentially more lame.
The bridge. That's all she can do.
That's not even right. How dare you? How dare you? You know what? Just for that, I hope. You know what? I'm going to put the curse of the Furies.
I've got to give the look.
I am putting the curse of the Furies on both of you. May you have broken your oaths. May the Furies get you. There you go. Now it's too late. I can't help you now. You've done it.
Yeah, I feel the same amount of doom as if a Karen had come in and told me who she was and who she's married to.
But hey, all joking aside, though, we should do a Wicked Wild Royal Rumble video game where all the characters either we've covered or we've created, you can fight your friends with.
I know who would win.
The Furies?
And somebody on here just said he's a hairy monkey man.
Oh, Bigfoot would know it. But like, you think about it, like you get Sheila fighting the candy lady.
That'd be a quick fight.
Yep.
Wait, between Sheila and Candy Lady?
Yeah, I don't think Sheila is susceptible to diabetes.
Fair enough. Even if she pulled her teeth out. Well, Sheila probably doesn't have any real teeth. Right. You're right. That would be a quick fight. Or like the owl guy who like picks drunks out of bar parking lots versus Bigfoot. Bigfoot versus a giant owl,
Bigfoot wins.
I'm saying we could do a game. Can you imagine? I'm telling you, we're missing out here. We could license these opportunities that we create. You got a gold mine. Every campfire tale a gold mine.
Well, I don't know about you, but I don't know how to make a video game. So
I don't either.
He also doesn't know how to make movies, but he's doing the several.
I'm just the idea man. Okay, I'm the idea man. I keep spitting out gold. I mean, I don't know what more you want from me. Oh man. Well, hey everybody. I know everybody's listening thinks the Furies are super cool. These two clowns are wrong. If you know I'm right, I want you to write your strongest, most most professional email to send to these two and tell them why they're wrong and you expect them to change if they want to keep you as a customer.
Oh, please do. Yeah.
Or just leave a comment.
Yeah, and if you would one last time, Eli, and I don't mean to belabor the issue, but if you could just one last time in one or two sentences, just describe what a Fury is.
Yeah, it is an
attitude. Like what is a Fury? What
kind of attitude do they have?
A Fury, right? They take oaths very seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And if you break your oath, either by perjuring yourself or murdering somebody, or anything like that,
even a bad business dealing in their perception, maybe
potentially, they will decide the punishment.
So how would you describe them in modern terms? Let's do that. So instead of saying
who would have given them to the authority to think of what's right?
I would say, in modern terms, they are a cooler version of Ghost Rider, but there's 3 of them. So
wow, that was so much worse than I anticipated.
What do you mean that was so worse? Ghost Rider's a spirit of vengeance. But there's
I would even accepted a cooler version of Donkey Lady rather than a cooler version of Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider.
I mean comic book Ghost Rider, not Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider.
There's only one Ghost Rider.
There's not only one Ghost. There's many Ghost Riders.
What do you mean? What do you mean comic book Ghost Rider?
Like the one from the comic books, not the one from the Nicolas Cage movie.
So you've trashed the name of Bigfoot and Ghost Rider at this point. Is there any other group that watches this podcast that you piss off?
Listen, I'll trash any name I want.
Yeah, you sound like a very specific kind of person. And there's a word that's rattling around in my brain.
You mean moking? Is that what you're thinking of?
That may be a synonym for what I'm thinking.
Greatness?
No.
Oh, hell. Hey, Dave, you want to tell the fine folks about the Wicked Wild?
Well, you're here. So thanks. We've this was a fun one. I mean, I always like talking about the mythological stuff. These are always fun ones to get onto. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, give us a rating and comments. If you didn't like it, then don't give us a rating or a comment.
Write a strongly worded letter.
Yeah, if you want to write a strongly worded letter, sure, you can send it to me.
To Dave's manager.
Podcast, podcast at thewickedwild.com. To that point, we also have a website with book reviews and some travel logs from Eli and Jeff from some of their investigative journalism that they've done that you can find there on the website. And then we also have a shop on there with some t-shirts and hoodies and other little pieces of merch that you might be interested in. If you want to follow us on social media, you can do that on Twitter at Wicked Wild We Are, Instagram at Wicked Wild Pod, or Slasher, the horror only community at Wicked Wild We Are.
You know what? That's pretty good. I don't want to speak to your manager about that, but I do want to speak to them about other things.
Fantastic.
All right, you boys got anything else fun to say before we wrap this up?
Donkey Lady sucks.
That's not even true. Don't even lie. Don't end this episode in a lie.
Eli officially on the record thinks Bigfoot is lame. That he's just
not what I said either.
Man.
You are gaslighting me, sir. That's what you're doing. You are gaslighting me.
I've got the record.
Quote, big hairy
not the
man.
correct record. I said compared to the Furies, Bigfoot is lame. Bigfoot not compared to the
just
Furies.
Keep saying it. You
not
just keep
lame.
saying it.
You know, you sound like a Karen by gaslighting me and misconstruing what I'm saying. Or Kevin. I think they call it a Kevin. So you sound like.
Are you gendering the Karens?
You are the absolute worst. Just the worst. Well, hey, everybody. Just remember, don't do anything wrong because the Furies could take their vengeance against you, which is not like a Karen, but
remarkably seem like
they are relentless.
Remarkable. Well,
yeah, that's very not like a Karen.
Not at all. Bye, everybody.